Imagine being called a fraud, mocked by everyone, and accused of faking your achievements, only to have the most powerful man in the country walk in and expose the shocking truth. What happened that day shook the entire nation. And trust me, you don't want to miss a second of this story. Stay with me till the end because the twists will leave you speechless. And before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss stories like this that will blow your mind. It all started on a bright Monday morning in Washington, D.C., at a prestigious military academy's annual recognition ceremony, where hundreds of decorated veterans, officers, and young recruits gathered to honor those who had served the nation with bravery. Among them stood a tall, poised woman named Captain Amelia Harris, a name unknown to many but destined to echo in every headline by the end of that day. She walked into the hall wearing her crisp navy blue uniform, medals glistening across her chest, a sight that made some stare in awe while others whispered with skepticism. You see, Amelia wasn't just any officer. Rumors had been swirling for months that the medals she wore, honors like the Distinguished Service Cross, Silver Star, and even the Medal of Honor, were fake. Social media had exploded with claims that she forged her service record, that she never actually served on the front lines, and that everything about her career was a fabricated lie. And as she stood there, back straight, head high, the whispers turned into snickers, and soon a loud, arrogant voice broke the silence. Colonel Richard Evans, a decorated officer known for his arrogance, stepped forward with a smirk that could cut glass. Well, if it isn't the fake hero everyone's talking about, he said, loud enough for everyone to hear. Gasps echoed through the hall as Amelia's eyes locked on him, calm and unwavering. But Evans wasn't done humiliating her. He walked closer, tugging at her medals, his voice dripping with venom. You think you can wear these honors without earning them? You disgrace every soldier who actually bled for this country. Laughter erupted among some officers. Cameras started flashing. The live stream numbers skyrocketed as this public humiliation unfolded. Amelia clenched her fists, but said nothing. Her silence enraged Evans further. Tell us, Captain Harris, where did you even serve? Or did you just order these medals online? The crowd laughed harder. Then, in a final act of disrespect, Evans ripped one medal off her uniform, holding it high like a trophy. Fake, just like you. The room exploded, with murmurs, phones recording from every angle. Hashtags started trending online. Fake hero, stolen valor. Amelia's career, her reputation, everything she stood for, was being torn apart in real time. But what none of them knew was that the truth was about to crash into that hall like a thunderstorm. Amelia slowly took a deep breath, her jaw tightening, her eyes glistening, not with tears, but with the kind of fire that only comes from years of sacrifice and pain. She opened her mouth to speak, but before a word escaped, Evans shoved the microphone in her face. Go on, Harris. Tell us your fake story. The entire hall fell silent, waiting for her to break down, to confess, to admit the scam. But instead, Amelia raised her chin and spoke in a voice so steady it silenced every laugh in the room. You want the truth, Colonel? She said. You can't handle the truth. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Evans smirked again, thinking she was quoting a movie out of desperation. But Amelia continued. You want to know where I earned these medals? I'll tell you. But when I do, you'll wish you'd kept your mouth shut. Her tone sent chills down spines. 10 years ago, I was deployed in Kandahar. I watched my entire unit get ambushed. I crawled for miles with 2 bullet wounds in my leg, dragging a dying soldier on my back. I called an airstrike on my position, because it was the only way to stop the enemy from wiping out every American soldier in that valley. I survived by sheer miracle. The Pentagon gave me these medals because I earned them with blood, sweat, and tears that you will never understand. Colonel Evans, Her voice shook, not from fear, but from fury. But before anyone could react, Evans laughed mockingly. "Nice story, Harris. Too bad there's zero proof. No reports, no files, no photos, because you made it all up." He turned to the audience, fueling their doubts. "Let's call this what it is: stolen valor." The crowd murmured again, some agreeing, others starting to question everything. Just then, the massive double doors at the back of the hall swung open with a force that made the chandeliers tremble. Everyone turned and froze. Because walking through those doors, flanked by Secret Service agents, was none other than the President of the United States himself. The room fell into dead silence, the kind that makes your heart pound in your ears. The president walked straight toward Amelia, ignoring every salute, every protocol, his face stern. Evans straightened, his posture suddenly pale but still confident that the president was there to arrest Amelia. The whispers grew louder, phones recorded every step, and then the president stopped right in front of Amelia and saluted her. The hall gasped in unison. Evans looked like he'd seen a ghost. "Captain Harris," the president said, his voice booming, "it's an honor to finally meet the woman who saved an entire battalion and stopped a terrorist attack that could have killed thousands." Cameras flashed like fireworks. Reporters screamed questions. Amelia stood frozen, the weight of vindication washing over her. But this was just the beginning, because what the president revealed next left the entire world speechless. The president turned to face the cameras and spoke. For years, her identity was classified because the mission was top secret. She infiltrated one of the deadliest enemy networks, prevented a bioweapon attack, and sacrificed everything to keep this nation safe. She didn't just earn these medals, she earned the gratitude of every American. Evans staggered back, his face draining of color. "You're lying," he stammered, but his voice barely rose above a whisper. The president's sharp glare shut him down instantly. Then came the bombshell. Amelia Harris was the highest-ranking undercover operative in Operation Silent Shield, a mission so critical that its files are locked under presidential seal. Until today. The room erupted in gasps and murmurs. Reporters typed furiously, live feeds exploding with headlines. Evans dropped the ripped metal, his hands trembling. Amelia's calm demeanor never wavered, but inside, her heart raced. Not from fear, but from the flood of memories that the president's words unleashed. She remembered the nights sleeping in caves, the sound of gunfire echoing through the mountains, the faces of comrades she'd lost. She had buried all of it for years because duty demanded silence. And now the truth was out. But just when it seemed like vindication was complete, the doors slammed open again, this time revealing a group of men in black suits, rushing in with grim faces. One leaned into the president's ear and whispered something that made his jaw tighten. The president turned to Amelia. "Captain, I'm afraid your fight isn't over. They know you're alive, and they're coming." Confusion swept the room. Evans backed away, muttering, "What is happening?" Amelia's eyes narrowed. She knew exactly what this meant. The very network she dismantled, the one that cost her blood and scars, had resurfaced, and they wanted revenge. In a matter of seconds, chaos erupted. Secret Service agents formed a shield around Amelia as the president barked orders. "Get her to the secure vehicle now!" Evans stood frozen, humiliation and fear battling on his face. Amelia shot him one last look, a look that said, "This isn't over." Outside, black SUVs screeched as agents hustled her in. But before the doors closed, Amelia heard the president say, "Activate shadow protocol." The words sent a shiver down her spine. It meant one thing: the enemy wasn't just back, they were inside American soil. As the convoy sped through, the streets of D.C., Amelia's mind raced. She had been dragged out of the shadows into the spotlight, but now the stakes were higher than ever. A sniper bullet shattered the rear window, missing her by inches. Tires screeched. Agents fired back. Amelia grabbed a fallen agent's rifle and returned fire, her instincts kicking in like she never left the battlefield. The city turned into a war zone in seconds. And in that moment, Amelia realized her medals weren't just proof of past battles. They were a promise that she would fight again, no matter the cost. Because heroes aren't made by medals. They're made by the choices they make when the world is burning. And Amelia Harris? She wasn't done saving it, not by a long shot.